And greetings once again, Primitive Earth Humans. Welcome to something a little bit new and different. I haven't done a lot of Minecraft and stuff lately, so I fired up the Technic launcher, which I haven't messed with in a while, to see if there's some new mod packs on there, and I found this Blightfall mod pack, which is very interesting. It's been out for a while, I think maybe a year or so, but it has had a recent update, and it's quite interesting. You basically start on the spaceship, and you're basically becoming part of a team to go down and explore a new alien world that has been completely screwed over and covered with fibrous taint. Yes, the taint, which is just between the sack and the bunghole. This world is pretty much covered with the taint. And so we can look at the little book here. As we start out, looks like a perfect planet, smack in the Goldilocks zone, full of minerals and even complete with pre-existing plant and animal life. When the scientists at Space Command saw the scan results, their jaw hit the floor. Plans to make a colony ship started that day. 4 years later, the starship Jaded set out on her maiden journey. But now that we've arrived, it's clear that things are not as they first appeared. A seething, teeming purple biomass covers the surface, spewing forth malign alien entities that cruelly murdered the initial scouts. We aren't sure if the scans were wrong, if something happened in the few years it took to warp here, or if Space Command was just lying to us. But this is not the paradise we were promised. We're having the rest of the colonists in cryostasis for now, and sending you down to the surface as our last attempt before giving up and taking Jaded and her colonists back to homeworld. We've got little to offer you besides a glass bioshelter to keep the aliens out. Resources are limited, and we're only willing to invest so much more into what we will probably be a failed expedition. But if you're resourceful and lucky, perhaps we can find a way to make the colony work after all. So yeah, we can click start here. So you've got kind of a reputation meter here. You perform lots of quests when you're down there. They're, in this book. We can see we've got all these sort of quests here. Normal, quest book stuff. And as you do each quest, you earn reputation points. Right now we're at concerned level. And there's this interesting the Dark One's impression. Curious. So the Dark One apparently is going to also be watching everything we do. And let's see. So, but I think right now, first thing we're going to do, I've kind of messed with this mod pack a little bit for the last couple days. And let's see, this is the area, once you go down to your biodome, you can actually come back up, and you come back through this thing, and this thing will transport you back to it. Here's the thing here, Colonial Drop Computer. I'm a Colonial Drop Manager. When the planet is ready to be colonized, talk to me, blah, blah, blah. I guess we just, pretty much do that when we complete all the quests, and there's a crap ton of quests in this thing, for sure. So, anyway. Another thing we have here is, it's kind of a big spaceship thing. I'm gonna adjust my mouse sensitivity. You can kind of go down here, hit the elevator, there's really not a whole lot to see. Cool elevator, though. And there's a couple of different levels to the ship here, and this must be the big, ginormous, gelid cryothium-cooled nuclear reactor. One big, giant, look at the size of those fuel rods there. Oh boy, yeah. But there's really not much to do down here except for look at the pretty design of this ginormous thing. So, these rooms are empty. I've already checked them out. We'll go back on up. Woohoo! Swing daddy. So, what we do to, oh hey, what's that up there? I don't know. So we talk to this person here before we go down to the planet, but before we do that, let's hit in here, the situation room, and we can talk to the captain. But this is a place where you can come back periodically, and all these meters here and stuff basically will tell, you know, how much of the map. This is one big giant custom map, and as we can see, it's all this horrible pink stuff. You know, shows where all the the fibrous taint is. We start out right about there, I think is where our biodome is. There's several different biodomes of progressive hardness, but we'll start at Biodome Alpha, which is the easiest place to start. And so you've got to figure out how to kill all this fibrous taint and basically clean this entire planet of it so you can colonize it. So what you do is you come back here periodically and you hit the you can hit this thing and it will rescan. It takes a while to scan. You can click on the top of it to do that. You can click on the side to check little things like badges that you earn for cleaning certain areas of the planet there. We can take our little scanner merit badge. Certifies mastery of the Jaded's 2-in-1 biological anomaly scanner and incentive award fabricator. Okay, yeah, so we got a badge for just clicking a thing. So yeah, and these meters here will show you, each of the biomes and how, messed up or not messed up they are as you progress through cleaning all the crap there. I don't know why we have 2 quest books, but I guess I can't really throw the other one away. But let's talk to Captain Shit-Take, because he takes lots of shit. Or it sort of looks like is that a captain's chair or a toilet? He might be taking a shit right now. But we will talk to him. Welcome back. Did you need something? Okay. How do you rescan? Blah, blah, blah. You can pause and read all this, but basically it just explains how the scanner works. How do you track progress? 2 ways to monitor your progress. Best way is to look at the gauges on the walls. Also, if you right-click on the side of the scanner, you can open up a window that will blah, 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 let you print badges and all that kind of groovy stuff. Bronze badges, you say? Mm-hmm. Yes, no, you absolutely cannot melt down your bronze badge to make a pickaxe head. Okay, fine, yeah. So, one of the things I learned you can do here is you can come and talk to this guy and say, just here to chat. Wait, really? I thought that players these days didn't want to bother with anything that didn't directly further the plot. You seriously just want to talk and just say, yeah, totally. I'm flattered. Really, really flattered, but I actually don't have all that much to say. I'm kind of embarrassed now. But no, this sort of exploration must be incentivized. Tell you what, next time you come by, I'll give you some of my rations. I hope it'll tide you over when you need it most. Okay, so that's a good way for us to get some quick, easy emergency rations. One of the things you'll find in this when you go into the quests, they're grayed out at the moment, but once we get down there, one of them is the Supplier. I think it's the second one here, and you can request items, but it costs you reputation. You get negative reputation every time you request stuff. So, like if you run out of food and need emergency food, it can lower your reputation. If it gets down to a certain lowness here, you're pretty much screwed in the mission, and you'll be done. Dunsky. So let's see. Okay. So I think what we're going to have to do is go down to the planet and maybe come back up. And if we wait a little while and we come back up, he will give us a box of food. So let's go ahead and talk to Maribel Hackett. Just step into one of those pods to get started. If you're on a team, make sure to use the same drop pod as the rest of your team. You can do this in multiplayer. I'm of course doing single player. Okay, which one? She pretty much explains. You can pause and read this if you want. Each one, starting with pod alpha, is the easiest. But if you want to do the harder challenges, you can start out in a different pod. There's even one I think that is completely under the ocean, which makes it real challenging to progress. Any advice? Most people don't bother to ask. Hunger is going to be a problem. Don't forget to ask Driscoll for seeds whenever possible. Yeah, the Driscoll is the supplier guy. But basically, one of the things is you want to conserve energy. You don't want to do a lot of sprinting and a lot of jumping. that's going to, suck down your hunger quite a bit. Okay, oh, you lost me. Just use the quest book. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, bye. So, is there anything else? Yeah, okay. So, I think we're going to go ahead and pod alpha is right here. Let's head on down to the pod. And paching. Just like that, and we'll say, yes, we want to go. So, here it goes. And here we are in our little protected biopod, as we can see. The entire frickin' planet is covered with the stanky taint. Yes, the undercrotch, the taint, is ravaged this entire planet. So, this is basically what we got to start out. We've got a few books in our bookshelf here. All pretty much copies of the quest book. I don't know why the game thinks we need so many of these. But, yeah, that's basically it. We've got a little bit of, we've got a single block of water here running down. We can do some farming here. And as long as we stay inside, we're safe from the tainted creatures like that. They're tainted pig, and they are crazy aggressive too. They will kill the living crapski out of you. We have the start of what looks like a little mine down here, but it is also... Ooh, there's some taint on the inside there. But, you can see it is all taintified in there, too. All the stinky butt crack taint is all everywhere. So I think first thing we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and sleep in one of these beds. Set our spawn point. And in the morning, we'll go ahead and start our first quest. So, let's see. The instructor. We cannot seem to... Oh, there we go. Open. We should open this. Yes. It wants us to send a block of dirt. This device, in addition to letting you communicate with the leadership of the Jaded, can also transmit items to us by breaking them down into data, beaming them to us, kind of like an ME system. Or magic. You can also receive items from us the same way. It's a technology-based ME network, but more limited. Try sending us a dirt block by breaking one nearby, returning to this menu, and clicking manual submit. Blah, 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 blah. Please also note, if you ever lose this book, you can craft a new one out of a blank pattern in either coal or charcoal. Okay. So, what we're gonna do is grab ourselves a handy-dandy dirt block. Grab one from down here. I'm gonna eventually kind of clear a lot of this and put in steps. One thing, like I say, that is important in this is to use the jumping very sparingly to conserve your food energy. So, when mining and things like that, I generally like to mine straight down using the 2-block digging method, which I will show you, and using ladders and things like that. Or if you're going to do stair-step mining, hey, we got ourselves some seeds already. If you do the stair-step mining, yes, actually craft some stairs, with the XX blocks you mine up, because it isn't going to consume all that food energy from jumping and stuff like that. I hate all those weedy, dead weed things. They suck much. Okay, so we've got that. We can claim our reward. And what do we get? We got +1 mission outlook. Okay, grootastical. So the next thing, going to need to see the requisition officer, Corporal Driscoll. They'll give you items to help you in your mission using the same interface. Your blah 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 blah. Right click until you get to the crew menu, then click on the supplier to enter Driscoll's menu. Ask for a sapling from him, then show it to me, and I'll tell you what to do next. Okay, so, yeah, and we're going to get 2 stacks of bone meal. There's another thing, you get a daily requisition of 7 bone meal. So it's kind of important to remember to do that every day, get your free bone meal. It doesn't cost you any reputation at all to do that. So let's go ahead and back out here to the supplier. I think this is Driscoll here. And yes, request a starter sapling. Okay, I have an apple oak sapling straight from the apple oak. Like there's such a thing. Straight from the home world, you can have. This one won't cost any good. Well, because we can't reasonably expect you to start a colony without giving you a tree. After that, if you want to dig deeper into the emergency agricultural supply, it will come to the attention of leadership, so try not to ask for too much. Okay, so we're going to claim our reward there. And we're going to go back to the instructor menu. And cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Well, manual detect that. Yes, we have our sapling and pachingo. We got ourselves a couple of stacks of lovely handy-dandy bone meal for what to be growing the hell out of the tree with. So we'll slap that sucker down because we do need to get some wood. And we'll spam it a couple of times, and we got ourselves kind of a teeny tiny tree, but a tree nonetheless. So we'll go ahead and punch the crap out of this tree, punch it in its taint, and grab up some wood. And one other thing, let's see if it is working. I did add a mod to this, at least I thought I had. I might have to reinstall it, but the only other mod I added to this mod pack, or I would suggest adding to this mod pack, is the fast leaf decay mod, because it's a real pain in the ass waiting for all these damn leaves to decay, especially when you get a lot of trees growing, and you just waste energy smacking the crap out of them. And if you leave these leaves up when you go mining and stuff, you might lose some of the drops and things like this. Oh, we got a couple more saplings. We'll throw a few more down. Throw some more trees, because we need lots of wood. So, okay. And it's important, too, once you obtain something new, to not just go ahead and craft with it. Because sometimes you've got to do the quests first. Okay, so we got wood. As you probably heard, the planet is mostly covered by the poisonous hostile purple biomass. We dropped you in, and we dropped you in one of the few spots that seem safe. I think it has something to do with this silverwood tree. In the center of your containment area. Better not chop it down. That could be disastrous. Instead, use the bone meal I gave you. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. So, we need to make a crafting table. Yes, this here tree, we no want to break. So, okay. First things first. We'll make ourselves a... Oops. We just want one there. Crafting table. And I'm going to stick it back in there and make a crafting station out of it. So, okay, and one thing I'm going to do is, we don't need all these beds, we only need one. And I am going to get rid of a couple of these hunks of wood, just to have some more reasonable space for it to set up all of our crafting areas and whatnot and all that good stuff. We'd have to cut all the pieces of wood down in order to mess with this tree anyway, so as long as most of the tree stays standing, and we're in good shape. Oops. And I'm going to clear these leaves out of this bottom row here, just so I can put more chests and things up there. So, okay. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to slap that sucker down right about... Yeah, I'll stick it here. And these... well, maybe not. Because I'm eventually going to set up my Tinker's Construct tools over here and stuff like that. Now we can move this if we need to. So, oh, okay. Except for, I probably already screwed up, because I was supposed to show him that crafting table. Okay. Yeah, as long as we had it at one time, I think it's cool. So, okay, Grootastical. Okay, now here's the thing too. Tutorials. If you do the tutorials, you're going to get +1 mission outlook. If you don't, you get +18. So what we're going to have to do here is, you can't just craft normal pickaxes and normal tools and things like that, because we are going to use Tinker's Construct. So, please don't patronize me. You say I'm already an expert tinkerer. You say, well, alright, if you sign this full legal release from certifying you are completely familiar with Tinker's Construct tools, we'll give you a pass. Go make your own tools. If this scares you, you might want to back up and complete the tutorials. Okay, yeah. No, so we need a wooden pickaxe and a wooden mattock. Pretty easy, pretty easy. I think we're going to need maybe a little bit more wood, though. Let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and grow ourselves another tree. And we keep getting the damn short ones too. I wish we'd get taller trees. And another one of the things here as far as the food goes with this has Pam's harvest mod in it. It gives you a big variety of foods and things, you know, we can cook and prepare and all that good stuff. Whoa. But it's also got, I think it's called the Spice of Life mod, which gives you diminishing returns on your food. Why is this not growing? If you eat the same food over and over again, bastards, you will get less and less sort of saturation from it. So we don't have an apple or anything where I could show you yet. So you have to vary your diet, or it's going to penalize you. If you keep just eating the same food over and over again, it's going to go down and down to the point where it's just not giving us any real nutrition. Let's throw another tree down over here, because we're going to need a lot of wood to kind of start out with. There we go. And we'll grab a little bit more wood and start building our Tinker's Construct tools and things. And this should probably be enough to get us started, I believe. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, throw our pitching workbench down there. I'm gonna pull this hunk of wood out of the ground here, and you shall see why in a moment. First thing we're gonna do is I think I'm gonna save a few of those. We're going to make some sticks, and we're going to make some patterns for Tinker's Construct. And we'll make 8 patterns, and let's see. Well, we'll go to the Tinker's Construct, so let's see. Tool station, how do I make the tool station? Yes, crafting station and a pattern. Okay, so crafting station. We'll throw a pattern on top of there. And there we've got a tool station. I think the other thing we need is... yes, we need a pattern chest. Just a chest and a pattern. Pretty easy. I'm gonna make... well, yeah, we'll just go ahead and make 2 of these guys now until we got more wood. Slap one down there. And, oh yeah, now might be a good time to check our supplier. And, oh wait, no, it's in the instructor quest line. Well, farming might be hard and food is scarce. To counteract that, we can provide bone meal upon request. Up to once per day. The ship leadership decided that in order to save our bone meal supply, they will not provide you with bone meal unless you request it. So try to remember to pick some up every day. And yeah, this costs us nothing to get. So we've got to remember to do that every day to make sure we get the maximum amount of bone meal. So, okay. Chest, pattern. And there's our pattern chest. And what we're going to do is we're going to slap that sucker down right under there. And let's see. Tool station. Oh no, we need our pattern workbench. Let's see. So our tool station. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in the crafting grid again and make it into a teeny tiny slab one. So now we also need, let's see, to tool station, we need a stencil table is what we need, I believe. Yeah, so we craft that with just a block of wood and a pattern. Swing, swing a ding dong do. I'll put that sucker down there. Oh wait, no, actually we didn't even need a stencil table. I probably shouldn't have crafted that. Derp-a-derp-a-derp-a-doo. So what actually we did need was a tool. Where is it? We got our tool station, tool forge, part builder. That's what we need. And okay, yeah, we just need a hunk of wood. And there's our part builder. So, you know, the way I like to do this is throw the part builder down there, because if it's adjacent to the pattern chest, it will automatically access all the patterns in there. And we can maximize space for our little tinker station here by throwing our tool station right on top of that. And we can just click up there when we need to mess with it. So, first thing we're going to do, make ourselves some patterns. So, we need to make a pickaxe head, right? We can just use sticks, I think. So we don't really need to make the tool rods. And we're going to need an axe head for our mattock. And we're going to need a shovel head also for the mattock. And the mattock's a really great tool. It is a combination axe and sort of what you call it, let you do what you call it, oh hey, give me those. It lets you do farming. So it's just like a hoe and an axe all together in one sort of thing. Let's put another tree down here. And it's dark, so let's do a little sleep for the night thing. Craftastical, and let's see. So, I think now what we want to do is just assemble these tools. We're going to go ahead and, I think one other thing we need in order to make this, we're going to need a tool binder. So, let's get the tool binder pattern in there. And we need more wood. Oops, and there we go. Throw that hunk of wood in there. And we get an extra stick in the process. So, put that pattern back in our chest. And okay, so we've got our mattock. Now all we gotta do is assemble our pickaxe. And very important, before you use them on anything and reduce their condition, we want to submit our quest. So, back to the instructor, open. And let's see. Yes, we got 100%. We're going to get plus 18 mission outlook for that. Swing daddy. So I can see we're doing fair on our reputation right now, which is most groove-tastical. And dealy-dooley. So back to the instructor. And let's see. It's going to want us to make some bread. We've got to do a little farming for that first, but we can go ahead and start with like the mining and stuff here. If you need help knowing where to mine for various metals, look at this book written by our geologist, Dr. Nagasawa. It will tell you where you are most likely to find certain metals and other mineral materials. Some of the pages start off locked, but unlocking them shouldn't be hard. Look in the book to see how. Find Dr. Nagasawa's other books under the Supplier tab. Okay, so this is just a free thing we get. We're going to lose one reputation for it, but that's okay. Tacking up, you'll notice that neither wood nor stone can mine most metals. You'll need something slightly tougher before you can mine metals. Try flint. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is get ourselves some flint, and fortunately there's a bunch of it over here. So we've got a couple of these books here. Let's take a look at those real quick, actually. Mining and resources. I think there's like 5 or 6 different books. Oops. And yes, as we go through, it'll basically show where to find each of these types of mining resources here. And stone is only going to be found on this one island, netherrack over here, etc., etc. I don't know, but I don't think we ever actually build a portal and go to the nether. Shards, which are for Thaumcraft. All of this stuff having to do with the Taint is very heavily relying on Thaumcraft. Not one of my favorite things, Thaumcraft. The rest of these are locked until we find them or something like that. But yes, we're going to have to do Thaumcraft to get ourselves through this, so I think, and you know what, before we get too far with that, let's grab our mattock. And one of the things I think I'm going to do first is clear away some of this dirt here. to give us a little bit more space for farming here. And sure, we'll just take these guys out. We're going to leave these ones in place just because they're holding the water in place, and also eventually we're going to get sugarcane growing up here. But for right now, and that block doesn't want me to pick it up. Okay, we'll just go ahead. I think we've got one wheat seed. Did we break our mattock already? Yep, it's broken. But we can repair it quite easily. We'll just come over here and throw a hunk of wood in there and swing daddy-o. We've done repaired it. They don't last very long, that's for sure. And okay, let's grab some of these seeds. We just got 4 seeds, so we'll get some wheat going. Swing. And I'm not going to bother with that. We could use our bone meal to accelerate the growth of that right now. And we'll just use our hands on this, and there we go. We've already got ourselves 1 hunk of flint. And we'll just break these until we get ourselves a little bit of flint. I think, I'm not sure, but we probably only really need 1 piece of flint. We got 2 pieces though. Eventually we'll put stairs here so we don't have to do so much jumping. So what we're going to do is come to our part builder, and we're going to build ourselves a flint pickaxe head. Just like that, since we haven't even used any of the condition yet on our wooden pickaxe. We should be able to just replace that with a flint pickaxe head. Why don't we sort of do the same with this? We need 1 more piece of flint, I think, to make both the shovel head and the axe head that we'll need to upgrade our mattock. And yeah, there we go, there's another piece of flint down there. And the nice thing about gravel is anytime you need more flint, you just lay this stuff out and break them until they give you more flint. There's another piece. So we'll do that periodically every now and then when we need more of a supply of flint. So right now, let's grab shovel head. We'll make a flint shovel head, and we will make a flint axe head as well. Come back to our tool station. And ching, there we've got our shovel and our axe head, and now we've got ourselves a flint mattock. Excelente. So, materials. Classic tools, okay. I think this book here is probably... Yes, it's talking about all of the different materials. We don't really need to bother with this just yet. So I think for now, what we're going to do is we're going to take these books and put them away. There we go. Swing daddy-o. So, really all we got to do now, I think, is grow ourselves some trees, get ourselves a little bit better supply of wood. We don't want to go inside this thing and break it just yet. When we do, when we figure out how to make this taint go away, soap usually does the trick. But once we figure that out, then we can go ahead and start mining in there. But right now, we've got like a little bit of coal here. We'll go ahead and grab that. And we're going to need to make a whole lot more flint to keep this thing repaired. And once we grab some of this stone, it's called dacite, but it will break down into a sort of dacite cobblestone, and you can use that to craft like a furnace, and anything you can craft with stone, you can craft with this stuff. But we're definitely going to need an upgrade. A lot of the salt is good for like the cooking of the stuffs and the foods and things. We'll grab that up. It also gives us a little XP. But yeah, we'll probably want to bust a whole lot of this stuff. This stone here. And make ourselves a furnace and a few other things that we are going to be needing. So let's bust the rest of this here salt. Salt is just crazy easy to find. It is pretty much everywhere. So, good enough for now. So, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to call that an episode right there. And in the next episode, we will try to progress a little further. Maybe get a little bit of mining going and check out some of the other sort of things there are to do in here. There's the geologist quest, which we can try right now. I think we've got... we don't have any regular cobblestone, but there is normal regular stone to find in this world. Well, there's the paranormalist quest line. It's going to want us to get an iron ingot before we can follow that. Colonist quest line. Yeah, all stuff we'll have to do later. And collecting muck and goo and things, tainted goo and tainted tendrils, which we get from killing the horrible, horrible, evil creatures. So we will start working on all of those quest lines as time progresses. So I think, I think we end the episode right here. If you enjoyed this video, please do remember to rate, comment, share, subscribe, and always obey your alien overlords. Ooh, those things suck. Or you will be probed in your bumhole and your taint. And once again, this is Alien Pet 13 signing off. Probe you later.